So, as I grow older and mature and realize that I've had a variety of experiences in my life, there are a couple of things that really just stick out to me as crucially important knowledge for all men to know. And for whatever specific particular reason that these things aren't always talked about, I want to cover those things in this video because I know that they hold a great deal of importance. So the first thing I'm covering that all men should understand in life is that nothing in this life is given. Just straight up like that. I mean, life is going to be one of those things that you're going to have to make a decision. If you want something, you have to make that decision in your mind first, and then go ahead and make the plan and the action steps to get that thing. And the reason I bring this up as an important thing that all men should know is because I really just relate it to when we were kids. Like, for example, you did the dishes, you get an allowance. You got good grades, you get a treat or a present or something like that. It was almost like a given, right? It was a reward because of what you did. So you have to think of this in a different scope of life now, since we're growing up, we're getting older, we're developing into men, because there is going to come a time where you are going to be looked at as a provider. So whenever you're looked at as a provider, you're going to have to be the one that isn't going to have to raise all these expectations. Like, you're not going to have all of your expectations met by someone else. Like I said, you have to make sure that you're developing that thought into your mind or that action into your mind so that you're able to get those things, right? So whenever you're a provider or whenever you're somebody that's looked at as a leader, you have to lead by example. And you can't necessarily do that if you're always expecting to get something, right? You have to be one of those people that are willing to give, and then within that, you'll ultimately get whatever you want. So moving on to the number 2 thing that every single man on this spinning earth needs to understand in life, and it's the fact that respect is a 3-way street. It's not a 2-way street. We've been taught that our entire lives. I mean, for example, they're like, okay, if you want them to respect you, you have to respect them. But in order to respect anybody in any type of capacity, you first have to respect yourself. It starts with you. And this is something that I've had to understand and find out the hard way. You know what I mean? I mean, countless experiences where, you know what I'm saying, disrespect was flying, respect, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously those experiences too. The good experiences come with the bad. But ultimately, I had to realize that if I was letting something slide that was disrespectful, or I was like in a situation where I wasn't necessarily feeling like I was being respected, I had to understand that I was lacking on my side. And to be so real and honest, I didn't realize this was necessarily the issue like right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to have multiple conversations and multiple situations where I just felt like disrespected or like just kind of rubbed the wrong way. I was just like, why am I letting that slide? You know what I mean? And then I'm not gonna say that I snapped or anything like that, but it just kind of came to a point where I was just like, this is the last time that's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, I just had to stand up for myself. So you got to stand up for yourself. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to put yourself first, because ultimately you have to ask yourself this question: how are you going to be able to show up for anybody else if you don't first show up for yourself? And to keep it plain and simple, it really all starts out with setting boundaries, like I just said. But not only just setting your boundaries, but standing by them. It doesn't matter who it is. Those boundaries are not ever getting crossed again. And obviously that's a little bit more surface level, but still important, but a little bit more on the deeper side, like forgive yourself. You know what I'm saying? That is one thing that I found that is 100% useful and needed in this process of setting your boundaries. And you have to forgive yourself, whatever it was, past relationships, past friendships, past situations, past hardships, whatever it was that made you feel like you're in a dark hole that you can't, you know what I'm saying, stand up for yourself, or that you have to put up with any type of disrespect or ill treatment. Forgive yourself for it and understand that you are a new person now and that you're capable of better. But not only that, the most helpful one and the easiest one to do is just finding people that respect you. Like, surround yourself with people that respect you, that treat you how they want to be treated, and basically how they want to be treated is being respected. You know what I mean? You're some of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So if you're surrounding yourself with good people, the odds are you're going to be the 6th person. That's also good. But if you're surrounding yourself with people that are always negative, that are always spitting out negativity and aren't doing anything positive with their lives, unfortunately, you might be that 6th one. So choose your circle wisely. And last but not least, the third thing that every single man needs to understand in this life is that spending time by yourself is crucial to your growth. And I want to really talk about this because I'm more so catering to my young men when I'm talking about this, because I really struggled with this when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? Like, in middle school and high school, I'd always want to be around the crowd. I always want to be having fun, going out, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I did it so much to a point where I was going out and I wasn't even spending time by myself. Whenever I was spending time by myself, I'd find that I was either like eager to go out, or I was just bored, or I was just like kind of upset. And I'm just like, man, like, how are you going to spend time with other people and not even spend time with yourself? You have to understand, in order to bring your best self to other people, you first have to bring the best self to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to spend time with yourself. You have to learn yourself. And I was always trying to show up for other people. I was trying to appear a certain way, talk a certain way, just be a certain way. And I had to realize that I wasn't even the same person that I thought I was in the mirror. Like, I didn't know who I was because I was living life for everybody else instead of myself. And it really just comes to a point where you have to ask yourself, and I know I say this all the time, but how are you going to show up for other people when you first haven't shown up for yourself? Like, how are you going to be the best and most legitimate piece of yourself for other people and show up for them if you haven't even been legitimate and honest for yourself? Like, that's just something that I've had to kind of go through and figure out myself. And me being able to do that and go all through the trial and errors, you know what I'm saying? Young men, hey, listen to me. So y'all don't have to go through all of that stuff. I mean, obviously it built me into the man I am today. It built my character. But if there are avoidable steps of getting there, then, you know what I'm saying, I definitely take that over having to go through it the hard way like I did. But that's definitely one of the things, spending time by yourself, like whatever it is. Self-care days, you know what I'm saying? Like, just chilling in your room, listening to music, meditating, stuff like that. Just making sure that your body, mind, and spirit are all in check, because when they are, you're going to be feeling your best. And when you're around everybody else, you're going to be presenting your best. And that's all that matters. So yeah, that was basically it for me. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for all the love that y'all are showing me, man. I really appreciate it. And as I say in every single one of my videos, I know this from my personal experience, because I know if it's been able to help me, then it'll definitely be able to help you too. So appreciate y'all again. Y'all have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.